these topics. And of course, the main thing that I wanna get through today is the get you the value on actually how to come to the US through the talent visas, guys. And you know, if you wanna get approval for the talent visa, you go to Shamayev. Okay, everybody knows it because we're getting the result. So we're gonna have the guest today, Aggie, and I'm waiting for her to join the stream. So while she's joining, and both of us in Bali right now, guys, how exciting is that, right? So when you get your attorney being able to go to Bali and still getting you the results, the approval, this is a cool attorney, guys. We gotta admit that, right? So what I wanna see, and what I expect from you guys, hello, Mesbah, I wanna see the questions, okay? The main topic is the talent visa. So I wanna see your questions before, during, and after this stream. We don't do those streams very often, so you guys will get the value out of that. Okay, so while I'm waiting for Aggie to actually join the stream, let me see what's on your mind, guys. Shoot me those questions. So I could see what is the most important thing for you. Let me see. Uma de Vendla. May I get H1B American Council on exercise CPT? Not sure what the question is about. If you can get the H1B while you're on CPT, yes. There's no obstacle for that. So no problem, sure. The second question is, Sir, Trump is messing up USA. Is it the right time to immigrate? Of course, of course, guys. Things only get worse. So if you wait even longer, then you're missing out. You're missing out on the point. So if I qualified you for some type of visa, act on this right now, because the longer you wait, the worse for you. So I see that Aggie is on the stream. So Aggie, if you could send me the request to join. Let me actually invite you in the app so we could start this thing going. Guys, while Aggie is connecting, and there she is.
Hi.
There she is.
Hi,
Hello. Glad to see you, Aggie.
you?
How's it going?
You too. Nice to see you. How are you?
Nice to see you. I heard that you are in Canggu area.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I spent probably around 10 days in Ubud and traveling that part of the
Oh,
island, going to the
amazing.
north and the temples and participating in ceremonies and sound healing and gong meditations, all this craziness. So I'm a holy man right now. I'm pure, I'm connected. So it's time to do business, right?
That's you've experienced the real Bali, so I'm glad you did that.
The real Bali, yeah. After the stream, when we get a chance to meet, I'll tell you more stories, because right now we have a specific topic and a time frame. But that was pretty cool. So right now I'm Canggu also. Now it's time to. I know, right? So now it's time to experience the different type of Bali,
Yes.
and I'm all excited about that. So yeah.
That's
Aggie, thank you for committing your time to go and discuss your life and what's going on in Bali, and giving the value to our followers, to give them the option what else they need to consider, maybe US, getting the talent visa. So that's the main thing that we want to discuss today. So let's maybe give a little introduction of both of us. So I know about you, but my followers maybe not. So if you could describe yourself and what's going on with your life, so we have a better picture.
Okay. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me to join this live. A few words about myself. As you mentioned, my name is Aggie, and I'm a full-time travel creator, currently based in a beautiful Bali, which you're currently experiencing. I've been doing the travel creation full-time for the past 7 years, I guess right now. Time flies. I
Yes.
Everything started when I decided to leave my life in London behind and start traveling Southeast Asia. And while traveling around, I made my way to Bali. I figured that it's a pretty epic place to live. And slowly, with the time, I made it my base and I made it my home.
Okay, that sounds really cool. And I know, Aggie, that you're from Poland originally,
Yes,
right?
yes. Originally, I'm
So you already switch a few countries around, and there's no limit to doing that. So I'm excited that you're here in Bali and you love this island, which I do
oh,
too.
I love it.
As to me, my name is Stanislav Shamayev. I'm originally from Russia, but I've been living in the US for about 20 years,
Oh,
20 past
wow.
years,
Long
and
time.
pretty much consider myself more American than anything else. I'm also the founder and the leading attorney in Shamayev Business Law, the corporation that specialize in talent visa, national interest waiver visa, and the business visas. And my company has more than 100 employees working in 10 different departments with only one purpose in their mind, is to get the approvals for our clients. That's the main
Amazing.
thing that we want to do. Yes. So we extend our operations to more than 50 countries in the world, and
Mhm.
we have more than 3,000 approvals for the visas that we specialize in. So I'm excited to discuss with you all these multicultural issues and the talent visas and everything else. So I suggest not to waste time. We just get down to our questions that we prepared for this stream, and get everybody excited, discuss different things, the cultural, the legal, the everything that interests people who follow us. Aggie, if you don't mind, let me get those questions out, and we both gonna give our responses to those questions that we both qualified to answer,
Okay.
and I will take the legal part on myself. And also, guys, for those who present on this stream online, and those who gonna watch us later, and a lot of people I know difference in time zones and things like that, you're going to watch it offline. So the main thing is to give you the free evaluation of your case, guys. So stay tuned up until the end to know how to get your case evaluated by the American attorney. Aggie, without further ado, let's move on to the actual
Yes.
good content of today. So the first question that we're going to discuss with you is the inspiration for the move, right? What inspired you to move to Bali, and what inspired me to move to the US, and what if a lifelong dream, or was it a lifelong dream, or it was a spontaneous decision? So you first, Aggie.
Okay. I think I wouldn't say that Bali was a lifelong dream, but it was a place which I definitely always had on my mind. And I feel like, first of all, I moved to the UK, then I moved to Switzerland. So I traveled a little bit around the world, like living in different places. And I feel like once you made the first move, so once I moved first to the UK, which was like 11 years ago, after that, it was already so much easier to, move to another country and another country, because I already did this like first hard journey. So I was a little bit experienced, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but the case with Bali was first time I came here, I think it was 7 years ago, just on a backpacking trip with my friend, traveling the island for about 3 weeks. And I completely fell in love with it. It was my first time in Asia, and I was like, wow, this is a completely different world. Coming from, Europe, Poland to Bali, I had completely
Yeah.
two different
Big
cultures,
difference.
weather, climate, people, like absolutely everything was different.
Yeah.
And then 1 year ago, I started to travel to build my Instagram. I was already full-time blogger, let's say. I was traveling around Southeast Asia, and Bali was the last destination for me on my list. I was supposed
Mm-hmm.
to stay here, I think, 2 or 3 weeks, but I came with an idea that, maybe if things work out and if I like it, then I'm just gonna stay longer. And this is exactly what happened. I've missed my flight back to London, and I stayed
On
in Bali
purpose.
purposely. And I stayed in Bali for a few months that time, and I only went back to Europe like the following summer. And yeah, and this is how the whole journey with Bali started. Since then, with every year, I was coming here for a little bit longer, or traveling around, but always, coming back and coming back. Bali is this kind of magnet who, like, once it catch you, it's really hard to
No.
let go.
It's sounds more like a black hole rather than a magnet, but yeah,
It could be,
definitely. Yeah.
And yeah, and
So
here I am, 6 years later, here I am living here and calling this place home and absolutely loving it. Everybody is always asking me, like, aren't you tired of Bali yet? You've been there for such a long time. I'm like, no, absolutely. Like, life here is perfect. So yeah, definitely
definitely,
not bored.
definitely, and that's what I hear from many people here in Bali who are kind of in love with the island and that they made it their home, just like you. So in my case, I went to the U.S. when I was 20 years old, actually a little bit early, but permanently. But the reason I stayed there because the first time when I landed with the plane in JFK in New York, and I went to the airport and I was looking around and see what's going on. I just, I just saw how people interacted with each other, and I felt that they had this inner liberty and freedom.
Yeah.
They were not constrained like, like in Russia and Poland, people like, like this, they don't smile, like they're very careful meeting new, like girls don't give girls the compliments. They say, huh? In America, it's a different culture. So I really kind of fell in love with that. And I felt it my home from the very beginning. So I kind of set on the journey from the first day that I came there. And here I am, right? Already American citizen, living in the US, and being able to come to Bali and get a little bit of your dream, guys, people who live here and experience this great island. Okay, cool. So let's go to the second one. Actually, it's connected to the first one, but still it has its little bit shade of the meaning. What are the biggest challenges in relocation, and what's the hardest thing in immigrating to Bali on your side, Aggie, and US on my side?
Okay. I think I shall say that Bali is still a relatively easy place to immigrate to.
Mm-hmm.
Although most of the people don't choose it for long-term based, a lot of people come here for a year or 2 or 3 years, and then they move somewhere else. But I
Mm-hmm.
think probably one of the biggest challenges, starting from not the legal side, would be that obviously most of the expats here, we are all coming from like developed Western countries, right? So if
Mm-hmm.
you're coming here, it's still some sort of like cultural shock, I would say.
Yes.
I personally love the Asian chaos and everything what's happening in here and how different it is. For me, this is the whole charm of Bali. But I feel like a lot of people, especially if they've never lived anywhere else, they might come here and be a little bit surprised that things work different than back home. And
Mm-hmm.
this is something you have to accept and you have to adapt to it since we are guests in their country. So we have to follow the rules, right? For me
Exactly.
personally, this wasn't challenging because my whole heart is in Asia. I love this part of the world, but I know that a lot of people are struggling with it. And then coming more to what your expertise is in, which is the legal parts, Bali is also trying to make it quite easy for both expats and investors to move to Bali. And there are different type of visas which you can apply to. But of course, it's all a matter of choosing the right one, choosing the right agent,
Mm-hmm.
choosing the right, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and applying for the visa which suits you best.
Is it, let me ask you the follow-up question. Is there any way ever to get the citizenship of Indonesia?
I think it might be a way to get a citizenship. I'm not quite sure, so I don't want to say something that's not fully right.
Right.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Usually, whoever I know who stays here for a longer term, everybody has a company and kitas, which is so-called like a long-term stay permit. I don't know about this. So.
Yeah, I heard that it's possible to get through the marriage, and if you marry the Indonesian and you live for a certain amount of time, and then I heard I didn't know about the visa part. If it's like in the US, you can get the green card and you get the citizenship. Okay, no problem. So talking about myself, my biggest challenge in the relocation, look, I I had a lot of challenges, but I enjoyed every single minute of those challenges because I was free. I was on my own. I didn't have to, rely on anyone. Just myself. I didn't have my parents controlling me, and I knew that I had a bright future. So of course, difficulties that happen. You know, you lose a job, or you want to relocate to a different part of the country, and you start afresh. So those challenges are present, but they more I would call them like street challenges rather than like real some kind of real challenges. With one caveat, things started going much easier for me when in my head I had the switch that I really intend to make America my home. And because like as a fresh immigrant, you always come, you still have doubts, you know, maybe I should go back home, maybe it's a better place to, and you kind of, you know, have that dilemma going on in your head. But once I said, that's it, I'm gonna stay, I'm gonna make the future out of it, and I'm gonna be good at it, things just magically start happening around me. So that's concerning just the challenge in general. As to immigration, I wish I had myself educating myself about the immigration back then. Things would have been so much easier. I took a different path. It was not easy, but here I am. I can tell that my expertise in talent visas and business visas and national interest visas, those ways, although not easy, but they're actually the best to come to the US, especially when you compare that people like crossing the border with Mexico, like doing crazy stuff and staying illegal and trying to figure out things later. That doesn't work in the US. You need to have the plan. You have to have the strategy. You need to know what's going on. So I don't want to go too much in the legal stuff. So let's continue with our questions.
Okay.
Question number 3. Top tips for moving abroad. Practical advice on what to plan and prepare before relocating to a new country. So Aggie, let's go. You first. What's the best planning strategy?
Okay. I mean, I'm a pretty spontaneous person, so I'm not sure if it's a good thing or not, but all of my moving out abroad were pretty much spontaneous, as I always have this kind of mindset that I'll just figure the things along the way. However, a little bit of research is necessary, and both with all the places where I lived, UK, Switzerland, and Bali, the research I did helped me later on to navigate the way I have to, act. Like, doesn't matter if it's regarding the area I want to live in, or accommodation, or how things work, but also the legal things.
Yes.
Second thing I would say is to find friends in the place you want to live in, or here in Bali, find local friends. For me, with my first move to the UK, having people there on the ground, I would say, was really life-changing, as without them, I wouldn't be able to start, especially that I moved there without speaking English. So everything was really, really hard. And those few friends who I had showed me the way and made it happen. And same here in Bali. In Bali, it was already relatively easier since, let's say, I was a little bit experienced with traveling. Obviously, I was speaking English at that time, but still speaking to other expats and hearing their experiences, it really helped me along the way. And the Bali community for that is really amazing, that everybody is really helpful, open. Everyone is an open book. Yeah. And I'm the same. If I see somebody who wants to move here or even visit for longer, of course, I'm going to share all the tips and all the things I learned along the way, so they don't have to, look for the answers themselves.
Yeah, that's I totally agree with you, and it feels like it's almost takes no energy to make friends in Bali, and people are really willing to help. Probably
100%.
remembering themselves when they came, like
Yes,
with big
exactly.
eyes and like
That's
what.
exactly how it is.
Yeah, so that the energy and the vibe on this island is just amazing, and I was to different parts, and I see that that energy and vibe is different in different parts, but it anywhere where you go, it's a positive thing.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing. I totally agree with you. As to myself, my best tip to if somebody wants to relocate to the US, I kind of I want to second you on what you said with a little bit different approach. So, number one, guys, learn English. Okay, I mean, it's a simple advice.
Will
It's very
definitely help.
like,
Will definitely help.
yeah, it's kind of no-brainer in my opinion, but a lot of people just don't do this. And I understand where they're coming from. They think, okay, I'm gonna come to the US and I'm gonna start learning as I go. You're not gonna start learning as you go, guys. You're gonna find your Polish friends, your Russian friends, your Indonesian friends, your Brazilian friends. You're gonna speak in your own language, in your own community, and it's gonna be so much harder. Do this before, right? So that's the best advice. Number two is exactly what you said, Aggie, that the learning about the legal stuff and the cultural stuff before you go is going to be of the benefit, because it's going to save you a lot of time if you know exactly what kind of visa you're going to be applying for, what kind of culture surrounds you, not to make a fool out of yourself, and just and be and integrate in the new environment much faster. So kind of I want to second on what you advise. By the way, guys, as we're getting closer to the end of our conversation, I do have the free evaluation form in the my profile. So if you guys thinking to come to the US, strategize before, see if you have the potential for talent visas, for other visas that I am specializing in. Just click on that link, fill out the form, and I will give you the initial analysis absolutely for free. Okay, guys, let's move on. We kind of answered this question, Aggie, but still maybe just a few words on that. Bali for life or vacation? Is this paradise better suited for living or just visiting?
Okay, good question. I think honestly for both, right? Like Bali, it's fully, I would say, like tourism powered, but it also, over the last few years, it became a #1 destination for digital nomads. I personally cannot imagine a better place to live. I know that it's not a place to live for everyone, which is completely understandable.
Sure.
Yes, but still a lot of expats from all over the world decide to settle here. Bali for holidays, absolutely. I think it's an absolutely magical place with offering so much diversity. Either you're into nature or surfing or relaxing on the beach or cultural parts or mountains. Like Bali really has a lot to offer. I feel like a lot of people, they just have like one image of Bali in their mind. They don't really know what to expect when they come here. But Bali is really so diverse and have so much activities and so many things to offer. It's a dream place for, I wouldn't call it maybe holidays, but traveling, for like proper travel, to come here for 2 or 3 weeks and explore. So yeah, it really depends on what kind of person you are. However, it often happens that people come here just for travel and they fall in love with the island and they decide to stay longer.
Yeah, that's what I hear right
Very
and
common
left. That yeah, people come like you know, where they stay for 1 week and never come back.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Bali sucked you in. As to Bali, I'm still exploring, so I don't have the exact opinion, because I still need to see more places. Like in Canggu, I'm for the second day, and I still get to go and see the places. But I like that comparing to Ubud, that's where I was located. It's like
Yeah.
it's a little bit faster pace. There's like more
Yes.
movement. There's like I can
This is
go
our
like
city. The city life is happening in Canggu.
city life. Yes, it's like the restaurants is close by and the gyms and yoga studios. So it's kind of cool because I like the chill places. Don't get me wrong. I like the meditations and all this, connecting to the universe, but I need the movement too. So it's a good combination that the island has to offer. As to the US, I same thing, both for visiting and for living, but because US is a very expensive country, it's kind of hard to travel if you don't live in a Western world country or unless you're a businessman. Yeah, like in Bali, everything, like especially after Miami, Aggie. Oh my
Yeah, I
God!
can
Like
imagine. I can imagine.
what are
Bali is
those
still on the
prices?
affordable side.
What are those prices? I don't get it. Like it's impossible. It's super cheap. It's very very cheap comparing to the US.
Yes.
100%. That's a huge advantage. You go to the restaurant. You take a taxi. You're just trying to move around the island. You're buying these services. You go to the massage. It's so cheap. So that's definitely a big advantage. But the US gives you the opportunities to grow with no limit. And I think this is one of the biggest advantages of the US. And I know that I have a lot of IT people in my company getting the visas, and a lot of them, like digital nomads, they don't need a specific place. All they need is a computer and internet. So that's it. But because you put yourself and surround yourself with the people who want to achieve and be successful, and there's a movement. You go to Silicon Valley, you go to New York, you go to Chicago, you go to Miami, to Austin, Texas, different vibes, different energy, but people want to move. So even for the digital nomads, this is a great destination, be it O1 visa, EB1A, EB2NW. That's a good place or a good option to have. So definitely for both vacation and living, as long as you have big plans and if you're thinking about the future generations, right? Because the medicine level, the education level, the safety, depending on the part, but it's all good for the kids to grow and be in that cultural settings.
That's amazing.
Okay, good. You get me.
I have to just add that it's really nice that you're talking about it, because I feel like everybody has this kind of stereotype about the US that it's obviously the place where it's really hard to immigrate to, but some just have this mindset that, oh, it's impossible to live in the US, right?
Right.
So it's really nice that you're actually sharing what are the ways right now for younger people or like entrepreneurs or digital expats to have a chance to move there and follow their dream career path in a different country. That's amazing.
Absolutely. And to add to this point is that I know a lot of people in their minds, when they hear about the talent visa, they're like, I'm not talented. All right, guys. I'm the one to tell you if you're talented or not.
Exactly.
Okay,
you're going to evaluate.
Yeah, that's number one. And number two, I guarantee, I cannot give 100% guarantee, but close to that every single person who's a digital nomad in IT, who's a businessman, can get at very least O1 visa, which is a talent visa. And that's the reality of it, because I've done so many cases like that. And my approval rate for O1 is 99%, right? So
that's
yeah,
incredible.
If I grab your case, you're gonna get approved.
Well,
okay, so
good job.
yeah, you get me excited, Aggie. Okay, so let's move on to the second question. That would be actually getting to the talent. Talent visas for Bali-based remote workers. Can digital nomads living in Bali qualify for a US talent visa? So that's kind of my expertise. So I already kind of started talking about this visa. So guys, the talent is measured by the criteria. Okay, it's not something fictitious. Oh, I'm talented. Or no, it's not about that. It's whether we satisfy the certain criteria. And I can tell you right now that everyone at least satisfy two criteria. That's the higher income. Obviously, digital nomads make good money, and critical or leading role in a company with established reputation. So all those people working for some projects, and through those projects, we have the critical role. Many have more. By law, we need to satisfy three criteria, but I want five. Okay, so, but if we have two, we can build the case for the next 6 months and improve on the certain criteria. For example, press articles. We have the PR agencies helping our clients to get that PR portfolio out of the way for the purpose of immigration. So this is the third criteria right off the bat. Then the academic articles. We have the companies helping our clients to do the academic articles. Pretty fast, very efficient, the real ones within the next few months. So there you go for 4 criteria out of the blue, out of nothing. And a lot of IT people and digital nomads have the judging the work of other professionals because the nature of the work entails that you either do the code review or you consult on the optimization of the processes. So there you go, 5 criteria for O1. Boom, that's going to be approval. So if you guys based on Bali or in any other country in the world and you're thinking about going to the US, O1 is the place to start thinking. If you have more recognition than what I'm talking about, and I'm talking about the basic level of approval for O1. If we have more things, some of you participate in hackathons, some of you are a member of some professional organizations like IEEE on a senior level, then we can start thinking about the green card, about the residency and EB1A case. Don't forget, guys, the free evaluation form is my profile. All you need to do is to click on the link, fill out the form, and within 2 days, I will tell you if you have the potential in your talent case. All right, so Aggie, what can you add to this whole thing? What are your thoughts on living in Bali in general versus the rest of the world? How you can conclude our stream on that?
I think it's really interesting that we're having this conversation and comparing, I mean, not comparing, but sort of talking about 2 completely different countries. I have a feeling that Bali is a great place for people who sort of want a little bit of slower lifestyle, want to connect more with nature, find a good balance, focus on themselves, maybe do some sort of healing, work on their mindset. It's definitely the slow-paced life. I definitely needed it after spending a few years in London. But I also would say that it's probably not for everybody. I think that for those who are starting their careers and want to look for new opportunities and want to grow their businesses, then probably US is better option when it comes to people constantly being in the kind of like a hustle, right? Networking, there's so many opportunities. So it's interesting that we have here 2 completely different destinations for either different types of people or for the same people, but in the different stages of their lives.
Totally agree. I totally agree. It's slow pace versus faster pace, great opportunities versus less opportunity, and more healing versus already going full force. Yes, that's 100%. That's the how you can compare US and Bali, and I do believe each person has its own stage in life.
Yes,
for
exactly
one thing or another. Yes, so I believe it's always a good transition because we already know if someone is in Bali, that means they came here from a different country. Okay, so it's already experience in itself to change the location, so the mindset of that person is open. Now, if you guys already in Bali or other destination like Goa or in Thailand or Vietnam, or maybe you live in Argentina or any other country where you also need the computer and the internet, but you're getting tired or you want to have more, so definitely consider the US as your next destination. And to make that first step, again, the free evaluation link is in my profile, guys. That's the only way you can start working with my company and get that 90+ chance of approval for your petition. And also there are other steps that I'm going to explain to you later. Don't want to exhaust your attention. Aggie, thank you so much. I really enjoyed talking to you. Always nice to get the like-minded people, especially in the same location in Bali. I really appreciate your time. I appreciate your positivity, your optimism, your open-mindedness. That's really those features that don't really easy to find in the world. So I do appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yes,
Thank you so much. I'm happy
and
to hear that.
definitely.
Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely, and we'll keep the conversation going in a different settings. So I wish you the best the rest of the day, and everybody who came to our stream, I wish you good luck as well.
Thank you so much. I will see you around somewhere in Canggu, I guess.
Absolutely, again. Have a good